Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Mask of the Rose. We'll start off like we always do by recalling the past. Let's see what we can remember. I reach for another memory out of that jumbled grab bag. There are things I sometimes remember from that night that cannot have happened, impossible things. If I concentrate, I can recall. Lucian, just before the fall. Archie searched his books. Or Constable Hargett checked on us that night. Lucian. Let's see who Lucian is. It wasn't the night of the fall. It was a little earlier, when we were still on the surface. Just a few days before. I saw a party of drunk men, most older and quite distinguished, but accompanied by a young officer. He was the most drunk of all, but he kept talking about warning everyone. He was obsessed with some grotesque, impending disaster. What disaster? Something to do with theft and darkness. I can't recall now, a conversation half overheard, half a street away. But the end is that the other men got tired of his insistences and his drunkenness. So they hoisted him under his arms and carried him half resisting into one of the houses across the street from Chapman's. That is, into a house that is no longer there. Oh, it's the house that the Masters got rid of. Curious. Is Lucian the man that Hargett is looking for? That his name? Wait, can I see in my journal? Yes. I think it was. That's where we know Lucian from. Well, let's, can we build a story? Let's go hand in our story. To the Landau, to Rachel Landau. And then let's talk to Hargett about Lucian, maybe. Rachel and I know one another too well now for any minor eccentricities of dress to surprise her. I may still have my own preferences about how I wish to appear, however. I'm satisfied with this. I should probably get rid of the Spiritus fork, but you know, I'm sure it's fine. Good morning. I'll see whether my master and mistress are at home. Be prickly and hide my attraction to Rachel. Good lord, let's come straight to the point. There's something I wish to discuss. Offer this plot where the heroine fights nightmares. Dreams are a danger to everyone now. The inclusion of a Neathborn character is daring. I am not sure whether I'll be able to do it justice, but I will try. Let's suggest she's the ideal person to write it. I think you're exactly the person to write such a thing. There are limits to my powers, and sometimes it is a good thing to be aware of those limits. Nonetheless, it may be interesting to try. From there, I go on to speak about the ending. I didn't have much patience for stories like this on the surface. Reading the old folktales is one thing, but when it came to characters of our own time, I preferred them to face real difficulties. I suppose our dreams are difficulties now. Rachel does look grateful. Rachel adds a proper payment. Ooh, we got 2 pennies. Let's indicate we work well together. Think nothing of it. I'll buy the plot of the next chapter from you too, if you have one. It would be a pleasure to get ahead of schedule with my publisher. For once. Let's turn the subject to her artistic friends. Rachel's conversation circles back to Milton's salon, which is plainly the source of most of her social engagement. At first, he wouldn't entertain anyone who painted or sketched, or worse yet, committed acts of sculpture. He said you couldn't tell enough about the souls of the characters, and it wasn't interesting to him if it didn't afford a view. But he was converted out of that view by the contribution of the Solomons, especially Simeon, who according to Milton makes all his painted heroes into a temptation and a reproach. After that, the rules against visual representation were somewhat relaxed, and the company grew more. The business of the salon is evidently central in Rachel's existence, and at the same time it is the one thing that David will not allow her to discuss at home. So she tells all of it to me, never tiring of its personalities and its particular etiquette, so unlike the manners of her own family. I still have pages to do today, if you'll excuse me. Look after yourself, my dear. Try to study human nature as Rachel does. Do that one. He notices people's foibles and the motives they try to keep hidden. There's also some frustration, some impatience. Wait, do I want this for myself? Sure, this is what I want to be myself. That leaves time for another errand today. Now we can build another story, let's do that. Develop a plot about the heroine's troubled dreams. Okay, haunted by snakes, oh no. The spoiled beauty and someone encountered one another in the land of nightmare. Who does she want to encounter? Let's go with Milton. A spoiled beauty and the bohemian gentleman encountered one another in the land of nightmare. A spoiled beauty now dwelled in that place more than in waking life. She hoped for oblivion. With hoped for oblivion. The bohemian gentleman wanted nothing more than oblivion and forgetfulness. He loved it hopelessly. The bohemian gentleman was hopelessly in love with the spoiled beauty, whom he met only in the land of dreams. The spoiled beauty did something to the bohemian gentleman. Slept deeply at last. And died with expressed disapproval. The outcome was understands fellows because she slept so much. Regrets nothing, I guess. He's infamous. Neathborn! I guess I did Neathborn again, huh? The spoiled beauty did something the bohemian gentleman. The bohemian gentleman did not approve. Only the bohemian gentleman feels any regret. Go that one. Right. Want to change our outfit? Let's just head outside again. Where do we want to go? That's a question. We do have 2 pages to hand in at the bazaar. There is stuff on Roll Street. Shall we tell Harjit of what I know of Lucian's fate? Let's do it. Harjit likes to see me wearing his gift. He might take that as encouragement. Change. Let's get rid of the Spiritus Fork. This is a social visit, so... Wait, social visit? Let's put on the Corsair. Nothing in the face. We want to put on... the black coat. Put on the black coat. We'll keep the hat on. That'll do. And and let's go see him. I'm satisfied with this. You're looking well. Ooh, let's describe the flying beast at St. Albans. If Harjit knows anything. I was at the church, and something enormous landed on the roof. Not a bat or an ordinary bird. It looked in on us from above for some time, before it gave up and flew off. Talking eases the sense of alarm. I go on for some time. Harjit listens, nodding. I have perhaps created some trust between us. Harjit hints that I should say a bit more about myself. Shall we describe my origins and elevated birth? Suggest my elevated origins make me especially eligible. Let's just describe my origins and elevated birth, or we can invent a story of my elevation, but just describe my origins. I condense to a few sentences a family history stretching back to the 12th century. I don't give more than a few words to the subject of our old estate and its handsome layout. Everything that gave my father pride I sweep aside, except for the fact that he was proud. Impressive indeed. You are an inspiration to the neighbourhood. Is that sarcasm? I hope they will notice and emulate you. He does not say it, but often noticed. He's the one the neighbourhood children notice. Just yesterday, a little boy put on a blue coat and strode several times around the courtyard. It seems I have passed untest. Let's recount my memory of Lucian. I tell Harjit the story of what I saw when Lucian was drunk. Everything. Was he angry? Hurt? Did he strike anyone? Could you hear who it was he wanted to warn? I explain everything I can. Then he's beyond my help, beyond reach. Oh. You remember things I've forgotten. The building might still be there, if approached rightly. Sometimes one can find one's way around the fold, but it's hard to find places I never saw in the first place. Let's listen neutrally. From a certain point of view, I am one of Lucian's personal effects. A thing that should not be here if he did not exist. A thing that might be edited out of the Neath in time. I think when I forget him, I will also vanish. I'm going to admit confusion here. I don't follow. How is that even possible? Things get lost from the Neath. I don't know why. I only know it happens. I dread the thought of being swept away. Would you cease to exist? Die? Or only go back to the surface? There are stories in the newspaper. Apocryphal. Apocryphal or not, I don't know. Of people who after a period in the Neath found themselves walking in some sunlit field above. Maybe I would be in the Punjab again, back among my own people. They say Duleep Singh has gone back there. With London gone and the Queen fallen below, there was nothing to prevent him from returning to Lahore. Perhaps he is even now restoring our empire to its former state. So, you want to go back? A few months ago, I wanted nothing more. But my love for Lucian was also so imperative. If the cost of my homecoming was to forget him, I'm not sure I could have brought myself to do it. Let's thank him for trusting me. Thank you for trusting me. You're welcome. Let's ask him how the neighborhood is doing. All well on the streets? Every day I can walk a little further without getting lost. Sometimes I lose a place again. Do you recall the second-hand clothes man who used to be around the corner? Yes? At first I thought the shop was destroyed. But it's moved 2 streets away now. The whole building. Okay. We can ask how it's possible. We can riff on the amusing implications. Or react as though we can't be serious. Let's ask how it's possible. How could that be? The stars don't stay put in the sky. Perhaps the streets are also free to roam. You should visit me more often. Accompany me on my rounds through the neighborhood. I can show you some things you might find interesting. Let's indicate my interest, but only in friendship. I do hold you in high regard, but I wouldn't want to give the wrong impression. With that understood, I'd be happy to. I will look out for you. There are new curiosities every day, and bits of town keep rearranging themselves. I found my way to somewhere you might like. It's an easier route than it ought to be. I thought perhaps there's an error in the alignment of the streets. Are you going to teach me a new place? Oh. The clock pleases me. A finger pointing at nothing. Sometimes you can hear the river creatures singing here. But mostly I like to enjoy the ruin. We stand and talk for some time. Now and then someone walks by. Mostly we have quiet. The false stars crawl across the ceiling of the Neath. We've discovered the South Bank, a scenic path along the stolen river, favoured by lovers and pickpockets. By now, Horatio will be wondering where I am. Let's go straight to the table. Let's hope we're not eating Rubbery Man again. I suppose you've heard the news? What's happened? Which news is that? The Masters have received word from the surface. The rest of the world is all still there. The remains of England, France, and all the rest as it was. Only London was abstracted. There are crates and crates of mail from the world above. They're going out to London now, as we speak. Joke about the likely price of stamps. I can only imagine what the price of stamps will be if we're to send letters back to the world above. Perhaps in place of the Queen's head, it will bear the silhouette of Mr. I suppose it would likely be Mr. Page's. None of the other masters seem especially concerned with upholstery pursuits. Archie, you here? I did at that. So it's true? I mean to get a seat on the next mail coach that goes above. Ah, I'm not sure that the mail came by coach, and it certainly did not come by train. Well, however it came, I mean to go back that road. Let's propose other ways one might reach the surface. Maybe there is a carriage drawn through the upper earth by a team of giant moles. That's not quite what I had in mind. Not quite what I thought I was going to say. Giant moles. Okay. Look, Mr. Pages sent us all a gift. She takes out a package wrapped in brown paper and string, sets it down on the table. Inside are half a dozen fresh pork and apple sausages. Better than Christmas, love. Thank your Mr. Pages for us. Make them up for Sunday lunch. Tell Chris to have Mr. Pages send the whole ham next time, goddamn. Let's join in thanks. Yes, thank you. And Mr. Pages. I don't suppose Mr. Pages does a line in red pudding. It is Mr. Hart's who has been arranging the import of surface meats. I don't think Mr. Hart's would consider a red pudding a very suitable gift. How many masters are there then? I have only seen the census pages for a few of them. Keep quiet and eat. I chew diligently. We finish eating. Review the day in my journal. So, we can talk to Harjit about recollections still. We can craft a plot for Rachel's next novel still. We can bring Archie theories about the ministry still. We can continue taking census of the whole neighbourhood. Still a few people we haven't spoke to, I think. We are running out of days in the first season though. Day 267 since the fall. 6 days remaining. For once, I know just what I'll see in the paper. Contact achieved with the surface of the Earth. Travel possible via Z route. Wait, is the canal built yet? Mail collected from above. It goes on and on like this. I spent a good part of the morning devouring the pages. There are hardly any pictures. It's too early for illustrations. Nonetheless, the paper's correspondents paint a vivid picture of the perilous travel back to the environs of Italy. But with that, I will be ending this episode here. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you again to the members of the channel. It really does help keep this channel going. And, as always, see you next time.